Good morning. I want to tell you a story that you may have heard, so if you have, look away now. I want to ask you a question. Are you a carrot? Are you an egg? Or are you a coffee bean? Or in this case, coffee granules. There was a young girl who was finding life a real struggle, and she went to her grandmother and she said, I'm tired of fighting and struggling. I just want to give it all up. It seemed like when she'd solved one problem, there was another problem just around the corner, and she was just like kind of fed up and had enough. And the grandmother, she took her to the kitchen without saying a word. She filled up 3 pots of water and lit the burners, and in one pot she put the carrot, in the other an egg, and in the other some coffee beans. After 20 minutes or so of them just boiling, she turned the burners off, and she said to the granddaughter, what do you see? And the granddaughter said, well, I see, carrots, eggs, coffee beans. And then the grandmother kind of beckoned her a bit closer and said, well, she took the carrots out of the pot, put them in a bowl, took the eggs out, put them in a bowl, and ladled the coffee out and put that in a bowl as well. And so she said to the granddaughter, touch the carrot. And so the granddaughter did, and she noticed it was kind of soft. And then she got hold of the egg, peeled the shell, and obviously it revealed that the hard-boiled egg. And then she ladled some of the coffee out, and as she tasted it, she smiled because of the aroma and the taste that was in her mouth. And the granddaughter said to the grandmother, what does this mean? Well, the grandmother said, well, look, each of these 3 objects faced the same adversity, i.e. in this case hot water, but each reacted in a different way. The carrot, it kind of went in hard and unrelenting, but it came out soft and weak. The egg was kind of fragile, as it were, but it came out kind of hard inside. The coffee beans were unique in the fact that they actually changed the water, and they actually made a difference to the hot water. So the granddaughter said, well, what does this mean? And the grandmother went on to say, look, which are you? Yeah, when kind of adversity knocks at your door, how do you respond? Are you like the carrot, the egg, or the coffee beans? Yeah, think of it. The carrot, it seems strong, but with pain and adversity and difficulty, do we wilt and become soft and lose our kind of strength? Or are we like the egg that starts with a kind of malleable heart, but changes in the heat and the problems and the difficulties that we face in life? Do we have a fluid spirit, but maybe after a death, a breakup, a financial hardship, a virus, does that shell still look the same, but on the inside we've developed a kind of bitter or a hardened heart within? Or are we like the coffee bean? Yeah, the bean, as I said, actually changes the hot water, the very circumstances that brings the pain. When the water gets hot, it seems to release a fragrance and a flavour and a aroma. Yeah, and I think the things that people, we're all facing in different ways, different shapes and sizes, the problems, the kind of the struggles and stuff like that. I wonder if we see this as a real opportunity, that for God to work in our lives afresh, to maybe to do that moulding, that shaping, in these difficult days. There's a verse that we read in Philippines a couple of weeks ago, when Phil was speaking, and verse 6 of chapter 1, it says this. It says that being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. I love that verse. Yeah, it says, if God, he's working in us, he's moulding us, and sometimes he uses adversity. None of us like adversity, unless we got a weird kind of sense of humour, or we're made up wrong. None of us like that. But it's as if God can take the bad stuff that kind of goes on in the world and use it still for his purposes, as a way of moulding and shaping his people. And it's a bit like that illustration, isn't it? And, there's a great illustration of what a tapestry is like. On the back of the tapestry, there's just all the kind of loose threads and ends, and it seems a mess. But when it's turned around, you can see the completed picture. And at the minute in our lives, perhaps we just see the kind of the back part, the loose ends, and we can't make head or tail of things. But we know that God is weaving and bringing his plans to fruition, making us more like Jesus Christ. And so I just would encourage you this day, when you're doing your cooking, to think, am I like the carrot that just kind of wilts and becomes weak and soft in adversity? Or am I like the egg that have I developed a kind of hardness, a bitterness, or a resentfulness? Or am I like the coffee bean that actually changes the circumstance and uses the kind of adversity, the hot water as it were, for the changing of our inner being, my character, to make us more like Christ. Okay, take care, and hope the rest of the week goes well for you. God bless. Bye.